channel. So today's video, we are going to be doing a little project with some leather scrap that I got from Michael's. And I'll be honest, I really hesitated making this one on camera only because I truly feel like everything can go left on camera. Like everything can go left. Hopefully, fingers crossed, that is not the case because I don't want to mess up. I have this vision and I want to execute said vision. Okay, quick rundown. So I'm going to go over all the things that I'm going to use to accomplish this project. There are like one or two things that are not here. Like I don't have any scissors and I don't have a nail file. We'll get to that when we get to that. But yeah, basically I'm missing like two things. That'll be at a later time in the video, possibly. But I got to this because, well, I already own a pocket TN cover. It can't hold a lot. It really only fits like 3 field notes books. And if you like chunkier notebooks or you like to have a lot of pages, you need a cover to accommodate a book of this stature. So I got a bunch of these. I mean, my pocket collection is crazy, but I got a bunch. You guys already seen I had one of these. I gave that one to my husband. This is the second one from that pack. But I had another pack of these paper age little pocket notebooks. And crazy story, I spilled a beverage all over my passport TN situation today. Completely out of left field. Yeah, it ruined my little morning journal that I was using, which was like a little field book. So yeah, I don't even know. But anyway, this will all work out because I'll go over my journals in another video, but I've been wanting to try out the paper age notebooks as a journal. We're not talking planners, we're talking journals. And I didn't know if I wanted to make a TN cover necessarily or make a pocket cover. I assume that if I don't like the pocket, then I could just always turn it into a passport. Or I could just get another scrap like this and make a passport, because passport is incredibly easy to make. But anyway, here's what you're gonna need for this project, okay? You're gonna need a ruler. I brought out my crappy rulers because I ain't using my good ones on this project. These are my crappy rulers. They have seen better days, but these ones I've used religiously for cutting up stuff and modifying and crafting all the time. So they still serve great purpose. This one even has all kind of cuts and pieces chopped off of it from using flipping blades and whatnot. But anyway, you're going to need these. You're going to need some ones that you don't care about whether or not they get cut into, ones that don't slip, and ones that obviously won't potentially hurt you in this process. You're also going to need some blades, your weapons of choice. Okay, whether you want to use a box cutter, this is handy dandy, this is old reliable, and the rotary blade. Now, I'll be honest, the rotary blade is very nice for these kind of projects because they roll. Like this one's a crappy one, so I won't even hold y'all. It hasn't been used in quite some years, so this one sticks a whole lot. Let me see if I can even get it back. Oh gosh, probably not. Let me see. Okay, yeah. This one sticks, and as you clearly just saw, it's kind of hard. But anyway, the intention is for the blade to roll. And do you hear my son getting yelled at? And do you hear did y'all hear my husband yelling back? Like, be quiet. Like, what? Yeah, parenting. But anyway, y'all get the gist that it rolls. So for a project like this, instead of doing, and also for paper projects, I recommend a rotary blade because rotary blades roll and it's just easier. With a box cutter, you got to keep doing this over and over. I hate that. This works great if you are trying to take books apart. That's just my personal opinion. But the rotary blade works better when you're trying to be clean with it. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. But anyway, choose your weapons of choice, okay? The next thing you're going to need is you're going to need like a little tool where you can poke holes and stuff in. Now, if I had to say, per se, I did not always have this little tool handy. This was not a thing a few years ago, and it looks bent because I've used it a whole lot recently. But anyway, this was not always a thing. This little tool right here. I have used drills to make holes in leather and stuff. So use what you have that is able to poke a hole. I've used power drills in the past. I don't always recommend that, but it is possible. And then you need some elastic cord, okay? Let me pause. Okay, so I just had to address my son and his screaming, but the other things you're gonna need is some elastic cord. Obviously, we making this into a TN, so we need some cord. I picked some fun colors. These are colors that I already had, which I have now put into other TNs. But I do have these fun colors here, which just come in like your basic white, which you can't really see because it's kind of blocked off. But it's white, purple, a light pink, a light blue, some kind of slated gray, or I don't know. I'm calling it slated gray or navy. And then you have this like cobalt blue. Fun colors, right? And then whatever else you want to add to your TN cover. So, oh, and I almost forgot. Because this is black, if you have a white gel pen, I recommend pulling out your gel pen. I don't have any white gel pens. What I do have is these Staedtler colored pencils. And if I could just, oh God, that's not, okay. Basically, I'm gonna pull out the lightest color, which is white. If I can get it out. But it seems like every color except white wants to come out. Okay. And hopefully it shows up. You're gonna use this. And usually I would say get a guide, but because let me just see. Will this show up? Oh boy. I don't think it's gonna show up, y'all. We might have to wing it. We'll see. We might have to wing it. But anyway, you're gonna need a guide. Make sure you get a guide. Depending on how big or how small you want the TN to be, you need something to guide you. So, for instance, I wanted to at least be able to accommodate 2 of these and possibly a like little skinny book. So I think, and also because I don't know why, but also they did some stupid stuff where they stapled. So this part of it is unusable. That part of it is unusable. So I'm going to end up cutting that off anyway. So I'm thinking to fold it literally perfectly in half and just cut along the line that the line of indent is where the staples were. I don't know why they thought that was a great idea, especially if someone is going to be using it for a project, to put staples into it and not just put it in like a little plastic bag. But I digress. Anyway, I want it to be big enough that it accommodates at least 2 notebooks. Okay. So, basically, get to work. Oh, and you need a cutting mat. We'll get to accessories and all that stuff later, but you need a cutting mat. So if you don't have anything to make a indent on, don't worry about it. Just go with your instinct. This is a point where you have to just go with instinct. So what I do when I do these crazy little projects off camera is I fold it evenly. Try to get it, it's an 8.5 by 11 piece of leather. So I try to get it as evenly as possible. And then what I do is I line it up with the lines on my cutting board. I'm not gonna measure. This is for my non-measuring people, okay? People who don't like to measure. That would be me. That would be I. And then I like to line it up with the lines on my cutting mat. And, okay, so definitely, I don't know if you can see that. This one has been cut into quite a bit. So, what I'm going to do, and hopefully this one hasn't too much. We'll see. Hopefully I can cut a straight line without it looking too jagged edge. I don't know if I want to use this rotary blade. If you're not sure if whatever tool you're using is going to be good, you can always test it. You can test it first. You know what I mean? Like, it cut that little piece of leather. So let me lock this because it is not locked. Let's see if I can lock it. Oh boy. Hopefully all of you are having a lovely Wednesday and nobody is doing crazy projects like this. I cannot for the life of me. I really need to get a new rotary blade because this one is hard to lock. Okay, so it's locked now. And with everything in me, I'm going to try to do this as safely as possible. So what I like to do is lay it down and follow the guide. Now, I'm going to turn this because if I don't, I'm going to have this little tripod right in front of me. And I take my time and I try to cut as neatly as possible. Okay, see that? All right, we're getting somewhere. All right, so now we got clean lines, okay? Clean lines. Now, if you want to make sure that it's even and that it will be able to accommodate 2 TN notebooks. Oh, and by the way, if you're using black leather like I am, get you a towel so you could just wipe off the dust. This will be able to accommodate 2 notebooks. That's all that I want anyway. I don't want anything more, anything less. So it will be able to accommodate 2. Okay. So the next thing is, if you really want to, you can line it up with the lines on your cutting mat. And then you can use these lines to be guides. So I see where I could cut potentially. And I'm going to try to do that. Mind you, the little Statler white pencil did not work on this. I thought it would be okay, but it did not work. So we're winging it. So I'm going to chop off at least, and I'm moving stuff out of the way because I'm going to rotate my cutting mat. This is, in a real world, I would not do this, but on video format, this is every bit of necessary. So technically, you can open this up and cut it because really, it'll be all the same anyway. So you just line it up as best you can. And then I'm going to cut off a little at a time. Yes, you can measure it out and cut, But because I could not make my lines, I'm just going to cut like this. And be careful, because I say cut a little bit at a time, because if you make a mistake, it's easier to fix when you've only cut a little bit. But if you cut the whole thing at once, man, you ain't going back. It's done. So I cut that part off, and then now I'm going to turn it. And I'm going to cut like this much off, which should be fine. Actually, I'm trying to think what would be the best way for me to do it. This is going to be halfway off the table. And maybe I need to come over here. And that might work out. All right, I say cut a little bit off the top and bottom, and then just check your placement. So you're probably hearing my son getting yelled at yet again, or he might be yelling. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut, oh gosh, I'm gonna cut very, very slowly. And if you don't care about like it being super perfect, then don't make it perfect. I want it to be kind of perfect. So I'm going to try to make it as perfect as possible. I like the rotary blade, like I said, because you don't have to continuously pick up. I like it because it makes cutting easier. Okay, so I basically cut off the top and the bottom a little bit. Now what I'm going to do is sit them in the middle again and measure it out yet again. I cut more off the top than I did the bottom, because it's easier to slide it down and then kind of just cut one side versus trying to get it like even all the way around. I'm only going for visual. So I feel like I could cut off another square. That's what I feel. I feel like I could cut off another square from the top. So I'm going to do that. So if I was to line this up, and really it doesn't even have to be a whole square. So really what you could do is line it up with the back. So here, because I just said I wanted to cut off like another square or so. So really, if you don't want to cut off like a full square, what you could do is just line it up so that it's straight with the lines here. And I can see where this is kind of curved because the ruler that I'm using is kind of curved, but you won't even be able to see that. And then what I'll do, this would be like half of a square. And then I'll just cut that off and measure again. So, see. All right. And then cut. There are a million videos on YouTube where people are showing how they cut stuff, how they do stuff. But everyone has their own technique, so no one way is correct. Whatever floats your boat, like whatever you're most comfortable with, try it, do it. Okay, so I kind of feel like that's good. Like that's a good, width around all the edges. I kind of feel like that's good. Like, I feel like if I go any further, I'd be cutting off too much. I might take off a sliver from the top and from the bottom just to take it down a little, because I do feel like it might be just a slight bit too high. But anything more is just asking for too much. So I would say about, if I were lining it up, I would say about maybe right there. maybe a little bit. So like right there maybe. And then take my ruler, line it up. And then I'll take off, hold on, wait a minute. Let me get my straight ruler because I want straight edges. I really want straight edges. All right, I pulled out my trusty dusty. All right, let's go for straight edges. Usually I would not use my good rulers because this is what I use to do bullet journals, threads, and all that stuff. But I kind of want straight edges. All right, don't fail me now. Okay, and then just take a little bit off. Go slow. Woo! I know this ain't the way you're supposed to hold a rotary blade, but you do what's best for you. All right. So, after looking at that, that looks like a pretty good cut. I mean, mind that. I mean, it's not bad. It's as good as it will get for like a DIY project. It's not gonna be 100%. Like I don't have a shop, so it's not like shop quality. So keep that in mind. I don't want to take off any from the sides because if you start taking off stuff from the side, chances are you will not have enough space. And so I think this right here is perfect. If I just brought it down a little bit, yeah, I think this is like perfect. This is perfect size, perfect everything. Okay. So what I do from this point, it's kind of crooked. Like you can see that it's kind of crooked. If you want to fix that, you can. I'm going to fix it just because if you go to line this up, like fold it and do your cut lines, or not cut lines, your what do you call it, your holes, and you see it when it's all like completed, that will bother you. It will bother me. So go ahead and clean that up. And I'm using these little tallies. I recommend getting a cutting board or a cutting mat. Cutting mats save life, okay? Yes, get a cutting mat. I'm gonna do that. If you want, I could try to do it with the blade. I could try to do it with a box cutter and just kind of show you, like, if you use a box cutter, this is how it would look. Same concept. Hold it taut and just push down. Slow and steady. Slow. Woo. And steady. Oh, carpal tunnel in my hands, so this kind of hurts, but slow. And you'll know when you no longer have leather that you need to cut off, because you won't hear that cut noise anymore. And then before taking it completely off, just check to make sure. All right, so now when you go to lay this completely together, it should crease it out too. Like, do this so that you're starting to train it to lay closed. Okay, push on it. It should be perfect on that edge. Like if you close it, it should be perfect. I might clean this up too. And this, like doing this, helps you see if you need to make cleanup adjustments, like if it's slightly off. And like, okay, you could do this, and this will also help it stay closed. So yeah, you can do that and it'll help it stay closed. So, and then what I want to do is I want to clean it up some. So I already got, just make sure though, when you do it, make sure that these are even, because you are training it. Remember, it was just a piece of nothing, just laying completely open. Now you have to train it to stay like a book. So yeah, clean it up a little bit. I'm gonna get down to its level, see where the chaos is, line up my ruler and the first mark. I got blades everywhere. I'm using the first little tally mark on the cutting mat. That just helps me see where I can clean it up. If you measure it out, hear me out. If you measure it out, you will not need to clean up. You will not need to do this. But for my DIYers, for my DIY folks who are doing this on their own, you're not a professional. We are not professionals. Cut a little at a time. I think it's off. Okay. Cut a little at a time. Okay. That's perfect. You probably can't tell too much, but now it is absolutely perfect. Like, these lines are straight. These edges, these lines are straight. The next thing you could do, if you want to, is round the corners. Okay. You could definitely round the corners. Let me get the blades all closed up because safety. Let's see. All right. So blades are all closed up. Okay. Scrap pieces out the way. Yeah, scrap pieces out the way. So get your, there we go. Clean it off. Get all the scrap stuff off. Okay, so now you have your piece of leather, right? At this point, if you want to, you could just poke holes and be done, right? Let me see something. I'm just cleaning it up, brushing off excess from being cut. Okay, but like I said, if you want to, at this point, you could be done, right? You can measure out where you want your holes to be, and you could string it, and then you could be done with it, right? This would be finished. However, I don't want to be done. I don't want to be done. So what I want to do is I want to round out the edges. Now, here's where things can get tricky. I don't think that this will work. No, it won't. It won't. Let me see if I have something. Let me just see. I know for certain this cannot fit in my corner rounder, but I wanted to at least see if it was possible to just get the indent. Because if you can get an indent, then you don't have to eyeball it. But let's just see. I know this ain't gonna work. Let me see. Let me see something. Nope. Dang, I need a guide. Okay, what I could do, this might work. Yeah. I want to try something I have not tried before. So let's see if it works. And I'm going to try to use a sticky note guide and then cut maybe. I don't know. Let me make at least two guides. Take this back. All right, let's see. So I want to make a guide so that my corners are rounded pretty fairly. I don't even know, and you can practice too. Like, if you are not sure if you can round the corners on something, practice. Okay, practice. Let me see. I'm not too certain if I can perfectly round these corners with this blade. So I'm going to try to cut a guide. Oh gosh, this ain't working either. Granted, I need new stuff, but let's see. I'm going to try to cut a guide and see if I could follow said guide with my box cutter. I'm just trying stuff on camera. This is not technically how I would do it. I would just literally take my scissors and do it. But I want to see. Like, I just want to see, could it be possible? Maybe. I don't know. Let me pause, go get a file and stuff for the way that I would usually cut it. All right, so I'll be honest. I didn't go get the scissors, but I was testing some stuff out. So I got a nail file. You just need like a little cheapy one you can throw away. And the one I was testing on trying to round the edges out, it worked. I mean, it's not necessarily perfect per se. I need water. But it will work. It will work because this looks better than what I would have done. Okay. So let's try that instead. Let's just try that. So, getting all these scraps out. This is my little guide. It's just a sticky note. And the size rounded edge that I'm going for is this. It's like it's like the second biggest like round edge from the first. So it's like medium. I guess you could say small, medium, large. This one's like medium, and I wouldn't even say medium, but that's the size that I'm going for. So basically, you do the same thing that we did on our tester. You do not have to do this. You do, let me repeat that. This is not a necessary step. For anyone who does not have the proper tools to do this, or you don't care how they look, you want to use scissors to round it out, if that's easier for you, by all means. I want it to kind of look somewhat perfect, so I'm going to do this step. So I'm going to round it, which I think is a lot easier. With my box cutter. I got something in my throat and it's bugging me. Okay, right? So that's one edge, and you can kind of see, like, I cut off a good chunk of the leather. So if you want to, just clean that up just a little bit. Just clean that up. Don't worry, it will all work itself out. It will all work itself out. That's what I keep telling myself. It will all work itself out. I cut into the leather a little bit, so I'm just gonna like cut that off. Yeah, I'll file it out, and maybe hopefully you won't see that, but let's go ahead and do this part first. So round it out as best you can. And make sure you're using the right side, that you have a guide. If you have a guide, and try not to cut into the leather like I just did. And then once you have that line there, take your guide away. I think that might help. This is unnecessary, but if you want to do it, knock yourself out. And then you can continue fixing it if you want to. Yeah, I rounded it out just a little bit more. Don't worry, we're gonna fix everything with this file in a minute. And then I have a weapon here which is gonna make it not fray. I don't know if you're supposed to use it on leather, but that's what we're gonna do today. So all right, so again, making another. And for anyone who's worried if I might cut my hands, trust me, I am being incredibly careful not to. Oh. It's a reason I don't like the box cutter as much. The box cutter is not my friend. Me and the box cutter do not get along very well. We just don't. Any projects I've ever had to do with my box cutter has never been perfect. And yeah, you could use scissors, but I feel like scissors give me more jagged edges that I don't want. That's what I feel about scissors. They give me way more jagged edges than I want. I'm going to clean it up with a file. I'm just trying to cut off okay. And then the last corner. Thank goodness. So hopefully if you try this at home for yourself, you have a better experience than I. Let's see. Close that up. Last edge. The last time I did something like this, I made a TN cover and I had cut down a standard to passport. And that was fairly easy. And I rounded the corners with scissors. Okay. The next thing I'm going to do is take my nail file and clean up these edges. And yes, it will get incredibly frayed, but this helps it round out to that smooth roundness that you want. This helps. And don't worry about all the frayed edges. We're going to fix all of that. I'm so sorry if the coughing is bothering any of you. I don't know. For some reason, I had something in my throat and then I just started coughing out of nowhere. So keep cleaning your edges until they are your preference, however you want them to look. Keep filing till they're perfect for you. I often run my fingers around just to make sure that they're smooth and not like bumpy or nothing like that. Okay. And when they when they get their desired, I got black stuff all on me. When they get their desired like smoothness, that's when I know like it's perfect. Leave them alone. So keep filing. This side is a little jacked because I accidentally cut into the leather that first time. So I'm going to try to smooth it out as best I can without chacking it up too much. This one might be a bottom one, like going on the bottom. Flip it the opposite way. Don't worry, I got another trick for all of that. All right, so that looks good despite how jacked it was just 2 seconds ago. And then the last corner. I'm also going to take a TN apart and use some of the accessories from that one because I don't have any more of those little things that I use. So I'm going to take the one from another TN cover that I have and use that, but we'll get to that point when we get to it. Okay, so once you have like basically smooth edges, once your edges are kind of like cleaned up to your liking, again, this next step is completely optional. Like you do not, I repeat, you do not need to do this. This is like, if you don't feel comfortable with this step, if you don't feel comfortable rounding the edges, you think you're gonna mess that part up, by all means, skip it. I want to burn the edges. I don't know if that's something you're supposed to do or can do or whatever. Like I said, I'm not a professional, but I'm going to burn them edges. And it's getting stanky in here because the smell of this, but I'm going to burn this. And that's going to get them little frayed edges away. Now remember, we don't want to burn it. We're not trying to burn the house down. We just want to get these little frayed edges. We're just trying to get the little frayed edges fixed up. Did I do this side already? No. Kind of feel like I did, but who knows? I did. I feel it. Okay. Last one. Okay. This one I might go back over just a little bit. Let's look at it together. Why didn't I do it together like this? Because I don't trust myself to do that. Because I know I would jack it up. So that's part and why. But yeah, That's the only reason why I didn't cut them together like this. Because I was like, I know somebody's going to ask, like, why didn't you do it that way? Because I know I would jack it up. Like, if you know yourself, then do what you feel is better. Like, if you feel like you would jack it up if you were to cut like that, like if you were to cut individually like that, or I mean, not individually, if you were to cut like together like that, then don't cut it singly. Like if you trust yourself to just go corner to corner, do that. Don't try to cut it all together and then you mess it up and now you're mad at yourself because you really could have took your time with that. Okay, so like I said, it will not be perfect, but it will be perfect enough and it will be usable. Okay, so at this point, you're gonna put your holes in there. Now, what you could do is line this up as evenly as possible on your cutting mat. Just line it up as evenly as possible and find your middle. Find your middle. Am I still in frame? Find your middle. The easiest way for me is, okay, so there's 6. So that means there's 3 even numbers on each side. So I would say about somewhere where the 3 is, like if this is a square, that's 1, 1, 2, 3. That makes half of this. And then 4, 5, and 6. That's the top of this. Then somewhere right here is where your middle line or your elastic should go. So you can do that. You can go ahead and just dot it. And if you want to use a ruler to make sure that it is right, you can literally dot it. If you want to line it up so that it's at the 1, so that way, because I don't like to measure. I hate math. I hate everything that involves math. So what I try to do is I try to take the easy route out of everything. That would be like the middle, like right here. Right here would be the middle. Yep. And let me just see. Make sure everything is together. Because at this point, you only have one shot to make the holes even. Because if you mess this part up, you can't go back. Like, it's a wrap from this point. So try to get it even the first time. Okay. So that's one hole. And you don't have to make all the holes big yet. Now, some people might say you can make 2 elastics. I don't like that. I don't like the 2 elastics and they go up. I don't like that because you end up having that knot. So I'm going to show you how I do it so that I don't have that little knot, that extra knot, that sits like in the middle of your inserts. I'm going to show you how I do it. So, like I said, you already have your first dot, right? What you could do is eyeball it again. And if you're not sure if this is on the spine, because remember, when you go to lay this down, you want to make sure it's at least on the spine. Let me see. It's kind of not though. So I'm just going to poke like an extra little, because I know I'm going to make this hole slightly bigger. Slightly bigger. That's where our dot needs to go. Okay. So from here, If it seems like too much work, it's just because I'm being extra with it. But you don't have to do that. You can do however you want. Yeah. So I'm going off of this dot. I kind of want it to be about, I kind of want the dot to be about maybe like right there. So I'm going to poke. I kind of went 2, 3. I kind of went like 4 notches up. And then I'm kind of going to do the same thing. So like 1, 2, 3, like 4 notches down. However you want to do it. Do it how you see fit. Okay. So those are my holes. They might be too far apart or too close to the edge, but it'll all work out. So now, I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna poke that hole. Oops, sorry y'all. In the middle. Some people might be looking at this and saying to themselves like, that's so dangerous. You can hurt yourself. But I don't intend on hurting myself. All right. So see, that worked out. That worked out with that hole there. Now I'm going to make this hole slightly bigger. This little hole thing, this was a game changer when I got it. Because it made making TN stuff easy. This is slightly off. Like slightly off. Like I said, it will not be perfect every single time you do a DIY project because we are not professionals. If we were professionals, we wouldn't just be making these for ourselves. We'd be making them and selling them, but we making it for ourselves. So therefore, it will not be professional quality. However, we still want it to look like professional quality, or at least decent, in my defense. So, yeah. Look, is that a crack? Oh, it's marks or indents into the leather. Huh, interesting. Okay, so once you have your holes, right, you can define the hole even more by going on the opposite side, making it a little larger, putting your tool back in the opposite way. You know, whatever you need to do to make it perfect. Okay? All right. So, it's not, if I had to judge for myself, it's not my favorite, but I will survive. Yeah, it will do. All right, so now I'm going to go get that other 10 and I'll be right back. All right, so I thought I had the little thing that I was talking about on one of the 10s that I'm not currently, or that I made, but I remember that I recently did a project where I changed everything. Do I have scissors in here? Update, I don't have it on there anymore and I have it on something else. So that means that now I'm gonna have to take one of my standards apart to get the little piece that I need. And now I'm just looking for some scissors. Alright, so I need to make sure I have everything together next time, but when you crafting, you don't anticipate filming, okay? So this is the TN. This is the passport TN that I made, I want to say 2 years ago. 2 years ago. And this used to be a standard TN. It was a standard TN that I had purchased while we were living in Germany, and I did not intend on using it. I didn't care for it. And so I basically cut it down and turn it into a standard 10. And I just realized I didn't put enough holes. I need more holes. So that's what I'll do next. I'll add 2 more holes because I need them. But anyway, yeah, so this was a TN that I solely cut down to be passport. It can fit a lot more inserts because it was literally made to fit standard sized notebooks originally. And so I cut it to be slightly wider than your regular passport notebook. But this is one that I made, and this is one that I love. I love this thing. But I'm just showing you, like, this is one I cut with scissors, and the edges are not perfect at all. Yeah, the edges aren't perfect at all, so it won't be perfect, but neither here or there. Let me go ahead and put the extra little holes that I need. And, oh shoot. Yeah, let me go ahead and put these extra little holes while I'm playing. Because I was like, okay, I'm done with putting my holes in. And then I just realized, like, God, no, you're not. You still need to put at least 2 more. So let's just, I'm eyeballing. I'm eyeballing at this point. Okay. And I'm just gonna make the hole slightly big. For some reason it feels like it's crooked. It could just be me, but it kind of, ow, motherfucker. Y'all seen that live on camera too. Like, I just stabbed the out of myself. But hey, it comes with the territory, so let's keep going. I knew every now and again I do stab myself. I'm not afraid to like hurt myself. I'm not. I know it's gonna happen because when you're doing stuff like this and you're not a professional, it's bound to happen. It's destined to happen. Okay, let's be a little bit better this time. All right, cutting through. I'm making these holes kind of big. I feel like I need to make a indent like right here and just open this one up a little bit more. Just a little bit. Hopefully y'all are entertained by this and it's not boring you to death. All I'm really doing is opening up these holes just a little bit bigger because what I'm going to do is string 2 elastics, or I'm going to string an elastic twice through this hole. So I'm opening it up as best I can, which will make it a lot easier to like string the elastic. Okay, so that is best I can get that. Now, this is my standard TN. Those who have seen my content this year, you have seen this TN on my channel. Basically the earlier parts of this year, like way before summer even started, so it's not new to you. I don't want to cut the elastic because I do a lot of dangerous stuff. Just like if anyone is wondering like, what is she doing and why is she doing that? I do a lot of dangerous stuff, especially when crafting. I get the job done. Oh, come out. Okay. All right. I'm going to take this little thing right here. The thing that I just poked this out of. I'm going to take it because I need it. Oh, man. Come on. I might take this. Let me just cut it. Okay, everything wants to be against me. All right, let's just go ahead and cut it. There. Boom. It's kind of like candy dropping out of something special. When I heard that sweet little sound, pop. All right. Maybe I'll revisit this TN in another date. But today we are working on this pocket. Okay. Now the next thing I want to do is clean up my station because it's like really chaotic. So I'm going to clean all of this up. Then I'm going to come back. All right. So I cleaned up the desk. So that's a good thing. The desk is now cleaned up. And what I did is I got my elastic. I got the last little bit of tools that I need to do this. I got my little rag here, my bleached. This used to be a body towel at some point, but it got damaged and bleached and all that good stuff over the years. So, or a face towel, I want to say, or body towel, I don't know. So now it's just a craft towel. But yeah. So now we have our holes. Everything's looking good. At this point, you can decide whether or not you want to put patches on it. If you want to put accessories on it. What I'm going to do, because I'm really vibing with this cobalt blue, is I'm going to use this cobalt blue to string my TN. I have another TN, or it's not a TN, it's a Moleskine expanded notebook cover, and it is a leather notebook cover in the color green. I bought it like 2 years ago, and I do have videos on my channel. I kind of want to punch holes in it. I'm kind of scared though, because I punched a hole in it to have a closure because it didn't come with a closure. It was like just literally the notebook cover in itself. But I kind of want to turn it into a TN. I have a bunch of these Denic notebooks. And I don't know, because like this year I decided not to really purchase a planner or buy a planner, though I thought a few times. And like, this is where I go back and forth. I thought a few times, even though my contradictories with ring bound systems, I did really like the day timer system. So I thought about it, and I still continuously think about it. So I don't know. I'll let you guys know though. So I think that's a good start in terms of like string. I'm going to cut it like, let's cut it like right here. Okay. If we need more, we'll grab more, but this should be enough to string it at least twice. So let's see if I can remember which side I wanted to use, which side I wanted to be the bottom. I think it was this side. Okay. So that means I'd have to go from this side and then go up. So what I want to do is string it. Am I still in frame? Okay. If you can't see, I'll try to zoom in a little bit more. Hopefully that helps. String it. And I'm sorry if the lighting is kind of frustrating, or if it is frustrating. I'm doing this at night, which you guys know I don't usually film at night. I try to use the daylight. But daylight was not on my side, at least not today. And this is the point where, let me see if I'm doing it right. I gotta check myself. Technically, it'd go through this hole, right? Oh, where's my hole punch? Not hole punch. Hole thingy. And this is why this tool is the best. Push it through. And then in order to get it again, I need another string. That's what I needed. I need another string. So let's see. Because technically this would go up top like this. And then I would put it through the little tool thingy and then it would be done. But I actually need another string. I'm wasting string. Don't worry, I do save the little bits of string that I don't actually use. So let's restring this again, because I'm pretty sure this longer one, I can use a bit of that to make a closure. So let's cut these even, at least. Because I don't think, yeah, see, I don't think I need that much. So let's cut it to about right here. And then there's a bit of this string that I will use to make a closure. So that will work out. And then basically, I'm going to take this and string it through twice. And this is another way you could get 2 strings instead of doing the 2 holes. Instead of doing the whole 2 holes, like, you know what I mean? Like 1 hole here, 1 hole here. So that way you can string like 4. You could literally get 4 notebooks on just 2 strings if you didn't know that. I mean, most people who use TN's Travelers Company products actively, they know this already. But for the ones that do not know, you can definitely get 4 notebooks, not 4 of the same size notebooks I have, but you can get 4 littler notebooks in here with stringing 2 strings through these little holes like this. Relatively easy. I mean, that's kind of how like my TN, like my passport was strung. So yeah, this is the annoying part, putting the strings in and keeping them slightly together. If you want to skip all of this, be my guest. This is the part where I struggle. Okay. All right. So then, did I do that right? Oh. Yes. Let's cut this part until I can at least get my strings together. All right, so I don't have my strings together, but I still wanted to show you every little screw up, every little mistake that I make, because it helps for the people who may encounter the same experience. So every time I go to string TNs, I always have a hard time stringing them because I always forget how to string these TNs. Even though I've used Travelers notebooks or faux Travelers notebooks for a long time, I still get choked up on how these strings are supposed to go. So do not get mad at yourself if it's not working out for you. Everyone at least goes through it at some point. All right, so now I can just string those back on through there. So now they're stringing right. And then I just pull it, right? Let's pull it. I kind of tie these together. They just need to be even, because they're gonna go through there. Okay, so now untie those. So now these 2 strings, right, Now they can go through the top. So these ones here, will go through this bottom hole, right? So they will go through, flipping holes. They will go through the bottom hole. And you'll notice I keep opening my holes. It's because I'm widening them up so that it is easier to slide both of these strings in at the same time. And every time we do things on camera, it makes doing the project 10 times harder than it needs to be. So, and I'm not a professional, so you're gonna see all my screw ups no matter how long it takes. All right, so now we have 2 strings strung through this bottom hole, right? Give it some more space. Now we're going to take these ones here and we're going to string them through the top hole. And again, I'm going to widen that hole back out. So that I can put these in seamlessly. We'll worry about straightening them out in a bit. We just need to get them through the darn hole. So, okay. So once they're through, and that should not be hard, but if you are trying to do it on camera like I'm trying to do it on camera, that could be a little frustrating for anybody. So now that we have them strung through, I like to straighten them out. So that way they're not all twisted up. And then at this point, we're going to take our little accessory tool, which is this. So I'm also going to add a bookmark. We'll use this one for our bookmark. So I'm going to clean it up. Okay. And what I'm going to do is string it. I don't know if this is what you're supposed to do for bookmarks. This is what I'm going to do. Jasmine's going to do. I'm going to string this through the hole at the top and make it as long as I want it. So I kind of want it, I need it to be a little bit. So it looks crazy, right? It looks like stuff is flying out of here. But I kind of want this to be somewhere about like right there, okay? This is our bookmark. So with these right here, right? What you're gonna do, where's my thing? Oh man. Oh, okay, so what you're gonna do is close this up. I feel like I got black dye all under my nails. It is black. My hands are black. Yeah, they're a little black. See that? My hands are black. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take this little thing, right? And what you want to do is like, there's these, if you have these, by the way, because everyone doesn't have these, but if you have them, the knots are going to be hidden in here and you're going to string them in here. Okay. So you're going to take one and string it through the bottom. And you're going to take these 3. Let's take these 2 longer ones first and then we'll worry about the bookmark. And string it through the top like so. And then we'll take this one and string it through as well. And then get all your pieces together. Hold on, wait. So easy way to do it so you don't get your pieces mixed up. I'm just gonna knot these. You don't have to do that. I'm just gonna do that. No, actually I lied. Let's hope we can get this done. Okay, so knot it, string them through, try to keep the pieces separated so that when you get ready to tie, it's easy. And then take your bookmark, string that through, and keep it with the top. Okay? Okay, so we did that. We did that. Okay. So now from this point, you can tie your knot. Let me fix my bookmark. Okay. This point, you can tie your knot. Make sure you have your elastic as tight as you want your elastic. You don't want any, like this is really loose. You don't want that. So try to get it as, and like this is, oh God, no, 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 don't lose it. Don't lose the elastic. Ah. All right, it's kind of hard, like not even trying to trip on it. It is very hard. I don't think this would go anywhere. Here, let's just do this. Let's just keep it out, right? Let's keep the bookmark out, right? And let's fix our elastic. Okay, make sure it's tight. You don't want short, you don't want too tight, but you don't want like, you know what I mean? You don't want too loose. And let's redo it. We're gonna worry about the bookmark in a second. And the only reason why I took that bookmark out is because like, it would have took me all day. It was taking me all day just to string this and tie this. And I don't want to lose you because I will lose you. And then you guys will be bored. So let me just get the top together, get it tied and tightened, and then tie this off. Okay. So there. Once you have that kind of somewhat tied, then you can kind of see the vision of like your TN. And you can kind of tell if it will be like too tight, because it shouldn't, like if it's too tight, it shouldn't curl like this. This, like it should not curl like this whatsoever. But I kind of want it tight because I kind of want it to hold the notebooks closer to the spine. So I'm going to leave it. I'm going to just leave it. And I'm going to tie it. Right? Okay. So once you have that tied, leave those there. I'm going to make another knot. But before we could do that, we got to put this back through because I took it out because it would have been really hard to put in with the strings and all that. So I'm going to open my hole just a little bit and I'm going to string this bookmark back through. I don't know if this is how you're supposed to put your bookmarks in, but I'm letting you know that this is how I've been doing it lately for all of my projects, all of my TN notebooks. I don't have any idea if that's accurate, like if that's how you're supposed to do it. It's just what I feel comfortable with. Okay, I'm gonna leave it like that. I'm gonna leave it slightly long like that. And then I'm going to take this and knot it again. Because I feel like this is easier than if I would have just did it like that the first time. Okay. And then let's knot it again. And I'm not concerned about not being able to use these strings again. Like if I have to cut them out, I'm not concerned about that. I'll buy elastic for a lifetime, so I'm not concerned about that. And then I'm gonna take this, cut it short, don't worry, The idea is to not see the holes or the knots. You won't see them in a minute. Just bear with me. Bear with me. I kind of think my bookmark is too short, but at the same time, I'm just like, let's just keep going with it. Let's clean up these edges a little bit. And then I'm going to try to tuck these. Woo, shit. Got hot. Come on, Jazz. Let's not be dangerous. Y'all was about to smell some, or I was about to burn some real flesh in here. I told y'all I do dangerous stuff, so am I surprised at myself? No. It shouldn't take you all day to do this. But like I said, I'm not a professional, so I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm only doing what I think I should do. Or how I think it should go, rather. All right, so I see a little bit poking out. I'm going to burn it off. And I mean like frayed edges. That's it. That's all I'm talking about is frayed edges. All right, so now basically you have the knots are hidden in this little thing. And then I'm going to knot this. This is our bookmark. Again, completely optional. Clean it up a little bit. Well, do I have to cut it or can I just burn it? I like to burn things, like fray things off, seal them with fire. So that's that. Y'all gonna see it's coming together. You're gonna see in a minute. All right, let's make a quick closure for it because I feel like that took us forever. Did y'all hear that? I feel like it took us forever. Okay. All right, my friends. Let's take this. And there's an easy way to do this. And I'm going to show you in a second. Easy way is to take this, knot it a little bit, right? Don't seal the knot, but just knot it a little bit and then string it through. String it through. Where's our hole at? Okay, let's open it back up. I feel like it died. I feel like our hole closed on us and it's no longer active. All right, so let's string it back through. Oh God, come on, don't fail me. Okay, usually this would be easy. For some reason this is a hard part. String it back through. My goodness, come on. Let's go. Ah. It's the fact that I can't see. That's weighing on me. And then the leather is black. So it's messing with me. Everything is harder on camera. Everything you do craft related, like if you want to do something crafty and you want to show people, it is harder to do on camera every single time. I think that's why some of us don't do it, is because of that. But I love y'all, so y'all gonna suffer with me. All right, so like I said, it took us a while, but we got that. Like if you're okay with the tightness of that, then you're done, right? You're finished. If you're okay with the tightness of that. I'm okay with the tightness of that. So I'm going to go ahead and just knot that. Just like that. and then flip this back, cut this. I'm going to clean this up. All right. Careful, don't pull it out. I'm going to cut it. I'm going to burn it. I don't like frayed edges. If you don't know, now you know. I do not like frayed edges. Pull that back through. All right. So our TN is basically done, right? It's finished. At this point, if you want to, you can add some accessories. You can add, let me just clean up the area a little bit because we went through that together. So just like, I don't want to discourage you from wanting to try this project. I don't want to discourage you from doing that. Like, I want you to feel empowered to do it, to make your own stuff if that's what you want to do. You can also clean up, like if you want to in the future, you want to do this, you can clean up your edges. You could do all the things. It's not necessary. It's not going to be the end of the world. You'll feel incredibly proud that you created it. You did it yourself. But this is what my little tin would look like, and it has nothing in it. So this would be considered a pocket. Now, you can make some jump bands for it if you want. I don't have any jump bands. Now, you have, so technically you have 4 elastics in here because you can, most people don't know that you can use this little part of the TN, or you can jump band 2 on this one and 2 on this one. Because I specifically wanted to make it for this notebook or these notebooks, I will not need a jump band, right? So back cover, and like I said, you don't want them so tight that they cut into the covers or that you can't maneuver them, right? So they're still loose enough that they move and you can still shift them around. And if you need to, you can always adjust your strings, but big enough where there's space on the side. You need to adjust. Like, I feel like this one will still need to be kind of trained a little bit. There's room on the side, there's room on the bottom. Let's just string this back through. I might even change or fix my strings just a little bit to give me more stability, but at least you know they aren't going anywhere, right? And then that's it. That is it, my friends. That's it. That's our TN. It will hold 2 travelers, or not 2 travelers notebooks, 2 notebooks, chunkier notebooks, or 2 Leuchtturms. Yeah. And it was DIY. Like I said, it's not perfect by any means. No means it's not perfect, but it will serve its purpose. If you want to make this tighter, because as you can see, it's like really loose. I pulled tight, but these strings are not that tight. And like this one is looser than this one. So I'll fix that. I will fix that. Where they'll stay a lot closer. I might even string them through the middle of the notebook just for extra stability. But like, it's finished. Like, that's it. That's all. That's it. That's all. So if you liked this incredibly long and demanding video where I literally went through the motions, if you like this project, be sure to let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Tell me what you would have done different. Tell me how well you think I did. I know I hurt myself on camera. I know people were probably cringing at that. Just tell me, like, how did you feel about this? How do you feel about recreating it? Like I said, I did some things that I would normally do, but I wanted to at least show you guys how I would do it if I were to do it. Like, if I was gonna do it again, like take this out, take this out and put it through to the middle. I don't want to put it directly in the middle because that's where the bookmarks are. But if I wanted to put it in the middle, that might add more stability to, yeah, I think that will add way more stability than where it is right now. I'll make the strings tighter. They'll be tighter. I'll figure the string part out. That's always the challenging part. But anyway, you guys get the gist. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, loves.